Damos inicio a nuestro tercer panel del día de hoy. Tenemos un panel increíble porque vamos a estar hablando de creatividad y de innovación. Tenemos hoy con nosotros a Víctor Muñoz de Byld NFTs, quien va a estar moderando este panel. Y con nosotros también, pues, Nanda Khiara, es artista, no sé cómo decirlo, ya siempre me lo dice, a mí se me olvida el nombre, pero es básicamente artista en el mundo, artista plástico, artista digital, artista en Web 2 y artista en Web 3, artista en FT y también es delegada de UN Women. Y también tenemos aquí a Simón Puebla de Blurredfuture y Byld, me tienes que corregir si lo pronuncio mal. Pero bueno, vamos a estar conversando el día de hoy acerca de creatividad e innovación. So we're going to be talking about creativity and innovation. And antes de iniciar, yo creo, chicos, mientras Nanda entra, podemos iniciar en español y cuando Nanda pues ya inicie, entonces les hago señas y vamos entonces haciendo ahí un Spanglish, ¿les parece? Excelente. Entonces, Víctor, Simón, pues el escenario es de ustedes. Adelante.
Sí, me escuchan, ¿no? ¿Todo bien? ¿Me escuchan y me ven
Perfecto,
bien?
perfecto.
Perfecto, Simón, un gusto de conocerte online y un gusto de estar aquí moderando este panel. Creo que el tema de blockchain e innovación es algo que vamos a ver mucho en los siguientes años. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos en una etapa en la cual la infraestructura ya está ahí, ¿no? Ya está ahí y ya se están construyendo un montón de aplicaciones y ahora viene el siguiente paso para, digamos, incorporar nuevos usuarios y atraer nuevas personas, nuevas compañías, nuevas comunidades. Y para eso vamos a tener que hablar mucho como sociedad, como comunidad, como empresas, como organizaciones, sobre la innovación. Entonces, el día de hoy tengo el placer de presentar a Simón, que es un business builder. Así que, Simón, adelante, por favor.
Perfecto. Cuando me digan cambiamos a inglés, no pasa nada. O sea, como se vaya sintiendo y luego cualquier cosa se traduce. Pero gracias, Víctor. Es un placer, la verdad. Y a Luica por darme la oportunidad también. Doy un poquito de contexto. O sea, por un lado yo trabajo en Byld, que es un Corporate Venture Builder, que lo que hacemos es creamos, o sea, esa palabra mágica en inglés significa creamos nuevos negocios con corporaciones. Y, y bueno, y entonces por ese lado vamos a poder sacar un montón de ese lado del impacto de la innovación y la charla con las propias corporaciones incluso. Y después por otro lado, lo de Blurredfuture que mencionábamos antes es un proyecto que hemos empezado ahora, nada más y nada menos que con mi viejo, que es un crack y persona de referencia para mí 100%, que, joder, estamos haciendo una tiendita de ropa online más orientada para el mundito cripto. Es un proyecto que nos divierte un montón. Le hemos llamado Blur Future porque realmente no sabemos qué es lo que se viene con todo lo que está pasando con las tecnologías, pero sabemos que la tecnología nos disipa un poquito de la niebla que tenemos enfrente y nos permite orientarlo por un camino diferente. Sea blockchain, sea AI, o sea lo que queramos direccionarlo. Eso es por dar un poquito del contexto de dónde vengo y mencionarlo. ¿Se escucha ahí? Sí.
Sí, perdón, me parecía que tenía un problema desde mi lado porque cada vez que intentaba desbloquear el micrófono me parecía que tenía que pedir unos permisos. Muchas gracias, Simón, por la introducción y qué bueno que tienes la oportunidad de trabajar con tu padre. Yo creo que eso es una cosa afortunada
O sea,
en el mundo. Y mira, tengo un par de preguntas preparadas, pero esto me interesa mucho, así que me voy a salir solo un poquitito y te voy a preguntar sobre esa experiencia de trabajar con tu padre, cómo ha sido, cómo lo ves, porque claro, él evidentemente es de otra generación y estamos hablando de tecnologías de punta, entonces ahí es interesante conocer la relación, ¿no?
100%, y me encanta que me lo preguntes. La verdad que tengo la fortuna de tener un papá que su hobby es pensar No para de pensar nunca, incluso cuando duerme está soñando todo el tiempo y lo primero que hace por la mañana es contarte lo que ha soñado. Y es una persona que siempre mira hacia adelante, entonces siempre viene con lo siguiente, ¿no? De hecho, la razón por la que yo entré en el mundo cripto en 2016, 2017, fue porque mi viejo me dijo, che, boludo, encontré un librito que se llama Blockchain for Dummies, que no sé, no entendí nada de lo que pone, ¿lo puedes leer y me lo explicás, porfa? Entonces ahí empezó toda una andadura hace como 7 años, partiendo de la base de esto. Y además mi viejo, o sea, por contar a lo que se dedica, él antes trabajaba en publicidad y ahora tiene una empresa que se llama Felicidad, que ayuda a corporaciones a hacer una transición, corporaciones o pequeñas y medianas empresas, a hacer una transición hacia la sostenibilidad. Entonces ayudan a transformar las empresas desde adentro, con mucho foco en la comunicación. Entonces, eso también le exige, o él mismo está montado con su empresa, junto con Pilar, que es su pareja, a estar siempre en la ola de lo nuevo, en las cosas de cómo hacer las cosas mejor. Entonces es una suerte porque todo funciona muy, muy fluido y es como, papá, boludo, tenemos que hacer esto, miremos esto por este lado. Y como al final mi viejo es como mi mejor amigo en muchos aspectos de la vida. Entonces todo es muy fluido y tengo la suerte de contar con su apoyo para llegar a sacar estos proyectos adelante.
Vale, ahora creo que la pillé con lo del micrófono. Tengo que pedir un permiso, aceptar rápidamente y ahí ya puedo hablar. Perdona por la demora.
Tranqui.
Vale, sí, sí, te entiendo completamente. A ver, cuando tú te rodeas con personas que son creativas, son curiosas, la verdad es que al final, si trabajas con ellos, bueno, todo va a ser un gran aporte, digamos, para la innovación, para tu crecimiento personal. Y si además puedes combinar eso con un familiar cercano, como en el caso de tu padre, la verdad es que te envidio un poco, tengo que decirlo, sana envidia. Y vale, entonces mi siguiente pregunta está relacionada ahora, hablemos un poco más del mundo blockchain y la influencia que esto ha tenido desde tu visión, ¿no? Cómo las corporaciones abordan la innovación y la colaboración con otras startups y proyectos creativos.
Jóvenes, esa es una pregunta que además se abre un montón y está súper bien tirada y es muy, muy interesante. Creo que lo primero que me viene a la cabeza con esto es hablar de que las corporaciones no hablan el mismo idioma que las startups. Las corporaciones hablan una lengua antigua que se mueve más despacio y que hace mucho más complicado siempre el proceso de la innovación, sea relacionado a blockchain o relacionado a lo que queramos. Pues también, y generalizando muchísimo, la propia corporación no quiere que el mundo cambie tanto, porque ellos están bien como están, ¿no? Entonces, siempre es una lucha casi contra su propio ADN, hay excepciones obviamente, ¿no? Pero generalizando, de quiero ir para adelante, siempre quiero ir para adelante y quiero liderar. De hecho, hay un gran error en las corporaciones que es pensar en mantener su propio modelo de negocio guardado y no irse a uno nuevo por el error, por el miedo a que eso le coma su propio modelo de negocio, pero el objetivo siempre tiene que ser tú tu propio competidor, porque si esa idea ya existe, esa idea no se va a desaparecer del planeta, entonces en el momento en el que alguien más la tenga, te va a comer el modelo y no te lo comiste vos. Entonces, ese lado creo que es importante. Y después, el ritmo de las propias corporaciones es despacito, por eso esas ganas de que tienen que movilizar mucho. Las startups, todos los que trabajamos ahí, somos conscientes de que o sea, te obliga a vivir varias vidas en el mismo momento, porque, porque tenés que estar ayudando en marketing, ayudando en growth, ayudando en la creación de los negocios, o dependiendo cada uno de lo que se dedique, estás haciendo producto y te obliga a estar como siempre en ese constante dinamismo. Pero cuando estás en una corporación estás como mucho más encajado, los procesos son mucho más lentos. Y nos pasa mucho a nosotros en Byld que eh, tenemos que ponernos en el mismo lenguaje o en el mismo momentum que las corporaciones y eso dificulta la propia integración de nuevas, o la propia toma de decisiones incluso, ¿no? Cómo se va divagando y las startups tenemos un runway determinado, entonces sabemos que tenemos que ir a la velocidad que vamos y la corporación es como perenne, ¿no? Es esa hoja del árbol que nunca se cae. Entonces, con el tema de blockchain en particular, creo que ha pasado algo, obviamente hay corporaciones que tipo IBM lo agarró en el siglo XVI, o sea, son gente que lo agarró desde el principio, pero exagerando, obvio. Pero el normal es como, es una gran palabra que suena en la boca de todos. Veo que Nanda ya está en la conversación. ¿Queréis que cambiemos a inglés?
Yeah, maybe we should switch to
Let's do
English.
that.
Yeah, let's go ahead, for sure. So basically, I don't know if you want to repeat the question for Nanda, so Nanda catches up, and then we can continue moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea. Hello, Nanda. Nice to meet you online. We were just talking with Simon about, how has blockchain technology influenced the way corporations approach innovation and collaboration with startups or creative projects in general. So let's let Simon finish, and then we will go with you, Nanda. Okay?
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thanks, Victor.
Awesome.
So basically, just to continue the point that I was explaining before, then blockchain is this big word that is in the mouth of everyone pretty much, and you get into conversations, and you get into conversations with VCs as well, being like blockchain and AI, and then you see all the pants falling off because there's like the two magical words that everybody wants to hear now. But like, in my opinion, the approach to blockchain for corporations has still been more of a test, right? Something like, let's build these different products, and most of them have tried doing something or innovating the business models. I remember like 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago, I was in Miami in a conference for Algorand, where we're doing a workshop on how to innovate, how to create new business models through blockchain or innovate their business models. And everybody was like, okay, I want to try it, but it's going to be on the side. Nobody's going to really take the risk and push forward with it, because I don't know, it is a magical word that everybody wants to hear, and they want to make new articles and publications and show that they're working in this line. But it's hard for them to actually take a step forward. And I think one of the main reasons that happens is because blockchain is directly connected to crypto. Everybody, when they hear blockchain, they hear crypto. And crypto, I know that everybody who's in the conversation likes it, but like, it has a reputation problem still. And corporations live off the reputations, and they cannot risk it just to try something new. So they tend to either create new joint ventures or just push it outside of the corporation and do something new on the side, and try their blockchain solutions rather than actually implement it inside, right? And in my opinion, it's mostly a thing of just not trying to get their image around the crypto space, which is unfortunate because it's something that we want to see, even though we see that adoption is coming. We've seen in the US with everything that is going on regarding implementations for like investments and stuff for banks and stuff and like funds. But we're still a little bit away. I think Mika is going to help a lot for that, because it's going to actually give a framework for them to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Mika is really great news for the space overall. We need a framework in which we have a set of rules that are clear for everybody, so we know how to play, right? And also, I also agree with you with what you said about corporations. They don't want to get their image get dirty with crypto because all of the scams and all of the bad reputation that crypto has. However, we all know here that this is something that is inevitable, right?
Absolutely, and there's probably more scams in TradFi than DeFi. Like, let's say that. The thing is, like since it's something that is upcoming, people tend to be more like, they tend to frown upon the concept. But like, it's still, it is. There's probably more shit going on, and you get more messages from the Prince of Nigeria trying to scam you through your email, and he's not asking about money from crypto. He asks for your bank account and for things that have worked this way for years and years, right? This is something new. Of course, there is less volume of information. Then when something negative happens, it consumes a little bit more of the percentage of total amount of information. But that is something that I think we should never forget. Like, there's probably more scams in TradFi than DeFi.
Yeah, that is something that we should not forget. Thank you, Simon. It was an excellent response. And now I want to say hi to Nanda once again. How are you doing? And please share with us your perspective on how has blockchain technology influenced how corporations collaborate with the startups and creative projects in general.
Hi, Victor. Hi, Valeska, and hi, Lubika. I don't know everyone else, but lovely to meet you all. And Simon, lovely to hear you speak and your thoughts. It was absolutely fabulous. Thank you. So I'm a contemporary fine art artist and I'm a digital artist. And I entered the blockchain and Web3 technology to understand more about how art could be part of the whole ecosystem and how we can work around it. In terms of corporations moving forward, I think to add to Simon's comments, I wanted to say one more addition is that the whole NFT market scene has changed. You can now buy in fiat as much as you can buy in crypto. So the whole NFTs have, or the digital art side have changed their appearance because all the marketplaces are allowing credit cards, debit cards, fiat. So that's the first thing I want to say. So there's a big change in perception coming there. And people are much more welcome and open to using that rather than using crypto. I do agree with the earlier participant that crypto is a word that is, how do I say, not appreciated in the community. If we say the word crypto, we are like the bad people. That's the way it is going, and it is not going to change. Mass adoption is miles and miles and years away, in my opinion. In terms of moving forward with cooperation, it's brand partnership, tokenomics, and NFTs, as well as, in my opinion, what is really important is RWAs. I think the more RWAs come into this play, that is when it's going to make a difference, a big major difference. When you have RWA playing in the field, and it could be fiat or it could be crypto, that is when the whole corporate scene is going to change completely. And I think everyone understands RWAs, but what I mean by RWAs is real world assets. So we're talking about the physical asset alongside the digital asset and combine the two. And I think that is when the change is going to come, and that is where we are going to go. But all in all, it is going to be a tough, I would say, another, I don't know. I don't even want to guess how long it is going to be before there is mass adoption. I would love to know from all of you, when do you think mass adoption is going to come in?
Yeah, we all want mass adoption as soon as possible because we are so convinced that this is going to happen, and I think that little by little we are convincing brands and corporations as well that this is just something that is inevitable. And I think that payments in general are going to play like the major role for sure. And what you said about linking digital with real assets, it's something that is going to be massive as well. So thank you so much for sharing that.
If I may add something to what I said, which I really liked, by the way, is I love the actual example you open with this, like fiat access to NFTs, right? I think something that is going on now that is super interesting is that suddenly we're here because of block space, right? Like that was one of the main difficulties that we had before. It's like there's no block space, and suddenly there is a lot of chains, a lot of block space, and suddenly block space we can even say is a commodity, right? It's something that we don't all access. So now that is a reality and that everybody can have access to block space, I think most of the dedication and investment of the industry is going to move towards actually UX, to how to improve user experiences to onboard the next generation of crypto users, right? And I think it's something that we need to bear in mind because, as I said, now development has been done. Technologies, the call it Ethereum, call it Bitcoin Lightning, call it Solana, or choose your favorite chain and put it there. But now that is a given, we can move those investments that went dedicated to development towards UX and to onboard the next generation of people. The thing is, the fact that we allowed or that we agree that we need to confirm 7 transactions to make a deposit, and we're all used to it because MetaMask is what it is. It is not normal. People want to use PayPal, and crypto needs to be or more move towards PayPal, like quote unquote, right? If we want to onboard the next generations of users, because we are the geeks that we like that complicated world, but the broader world doesn't want it, right? They want an easier UX with beautiful colors and easy buttons.
Sorry, once again, I had this issue with. Thank you for sharing, Simon. Yeah, that's true. in the user experience, and something that you mentioned, which is like we kind of get used to wait and deal with really bad user experience with MetaMask and with many other dApps, right? Because we just want to use the technology, but that's not how regular people are, and that's not like what people will want to use. That's for sure. So that's a great point. Thank you for sharing. And my next question.
May I add one more point, please, Victor, to what you were discussing today, please? I think the biggest challenge, one of the other challenges we are facing is interoperability between different wallets, between different metaverses, and between different NFT platforms. I am just seeing a surge of like another 25 to 50 platforms coming up in the last 6 months. But there is no interoperability at any stage until the interoperability doesn't come in, both within the cryptocurrency. In simple terms, I mean, if I've got Bitcoin, I want to exchange it to Tezos or vice versa, I should be allowed to do it on multiple platforms. I don't want to sit and have a new wallet. I refuse to have a new wallet. I find it really... if I, who am experienced in the Web3 space and blockchain technology, find it frustrating, how are you going to welcome mass adoption to people who are completely new? So in my opinion, the interoperability between wallets, between currencies, and between exchanges and how it works should be much more open. Everyone's trying to get a monopoly. You can only use my platform if you use the Algo token. Algorand, I've spoken at Algorand Lisbon, and last week they came and said to me, you can only speak, you can't speak at our conference in London because you don't have an Algorand wallet or you don't have an Algorand NFT. It is a way of controlling people. I hate being controlled personally, and I think everyone in the world hates being controlled. It's like you being told you can choose either Amazon or you can choose Netflix or you can choose, I don't know what the other TVs, or YouTube. You cannot have all three. And the second you come to that, that is when the problem arises as well. So interoperability and openness to use, and, everyone can have access. Otherwise, it's not going to be mass adopted. Definitely not.
Yeah, absolutely. That's certainly one of the most difficult points that we have. The other day I was trying to log in into an application, and I had to choose between like 20 different options for wallets. I didn't know that there were so many wallets, and actually one of the icons seems similar to something that I downloaded a few weeks back, and it was a wallet of, I don't even remember the name, but I tried to log in and I didn't remember the password. So I have a wallet of whatever that I don't even know the password. I cannot even recover the ask, because let's face it, already make like self-custody from one wallet is a lot of work. Now imagine 10, 20, 5, it doesn't make any sense, right?
No, it doesn't. And the same problem with metaverses. That is why metaverses is completely, I don't know if anyone else is feeling it, but I feel that metaverse has become a complete dead industry. No one is touching it. And now everyone's jumped onto AI. I also find one more thing I do need to say. Everyone's gone from digital art to animated art to metaverse art. And now they've gone on to AI. People seem to be changing their sort of likes and wants every day. And I don't think that helps. You need to stick to who you are instead of changing because the external environment around you is changing. It's another thing which I think, I don't know if Simone agrees with me, but I really find it absolutely frustrating, this whole constant change. And there is going to be more change. AI is not going to stop. Metaverse didn't stop, AI didn't stop, NFT didn't stop. And I'm like looking in the back for the reverse order, but I don't know what is next. I think I would be very keen to find out what's next and where we are going.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Please go ahead, Simone.
Yeah, what I was going to say is one of the reasons I think that the metaverse didn't stick in, well, two actually. One is the innovation curve. Normally, like, it had this peak and everybody was super excited about it, then it collapsed and it's slowly going to build up. There's a normal development for new technologies. But then one of the things that, one of the reasons why I think it didn't stick was the metaverse was put as a competitor to reality, right? Everybody was like, now new life is going to be in the metaverse. And I think that is a huge mistake for the industry, because reality involves 5 different senses, and the metaverse only allows you to use one of them, right? So the moment you're competing one sense against 5, it's just impossible to compete if you're putting it as an alternative reality. What is the point? The metaverse needs to take a different stance and needs to go somewhere else to compete against something different, but it's not going to work as a substitute to reality. I hope, because if it works as a substitute of reality, it means that the world is completely fucked up and we forgot sustainability and we forgot what was important, and we decided to live in a completely digital world. I'm getting a little bit negative here, but I think that is the moment, like the metaverse or a complete digital world can actually be a competitor to reality. I don't know how you guys think about this. It's a little bit controversial, maybe.
Being negative over there, Simone, what I do think is that historically, the metaverse works. If you were producing anything historically, like a Rembrandt painting or a Rembrandt museum, or sort of showing the Egyptian pyramids and so on, you can recreate that and show it in the metaverse. That is possible. To bring it into the day and live and the present and the touch and the feel and the see, all of them is not possible. Someone on my LinkedIn posted, there is a new scent coming out which you can sense in the metaverse. And I'm like, how can you smell it? I'm like, okay, some of it is quite a bit of rubbish coming out. I don't know how you're going to go and smell something in the metaverse. You can see it, you can visualize it, you could maybe feel the emotions, but you can't touch it and you can't smell it and you can't taste it, at least not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that makes too much of a sense, but I do think that there will be people always trying to, get there, if you pose the problem of how can we smell in the metaverse. I don't know if anyone is working on that. Not sure if it's a good idea, but I'm pretty sure that at some point someone is going to try it, and it's how humanity learns in the end, right? So I think that there are things that are positive in the experimentation side. Not sure about the final goal, if it's something so good, but certainly there will be always people like me that prefer to be outside rather than all the time in the digital world. And I work online, so I'm a lot of my time here on the internet, and I also like it. But obviously, I'm not going to forget how to be a normal human and go outside and enjoy with my family, with nature, with the things that actually make us human, right? So excellent point of view from both of you, Nanda and Simon. And now I have a question about the future that has blockchain technology integrated everywhere, and how is this going to impact the relationship between creators and their audiences, right? Because blockchain technology has allowed us to transact in a digital way, fast, sometimes without too many complications. But there are a bunch of things that are coming together, such as AI, but also the creator economy, and we are seeing a lot of changes on that as well. So I'm kind of curious on how you both envision this blockchain technology impacting the relationship between creators and audiences. So whoever wants to take it first.
Nanda, you want to do rock, paper, and scissors? And who goes first?
Thanks.
Go ahead.
So I think it is really personal, and it is up to the creator to decide. I have taken a stance that I'm going to focus on fine art, digital art, and I am not going to do animation, and nor am I going towards AI art. And I personally think AI art cannot possibly be, I don't know, but this is my personal opinion. I don't think AI art can generate what an artist can create. They could, to a certain extent, make it look like that, but the emotions won't be there, in my opinion. I really don't have a clear-cut answer on that, Victor, but in my personal opinion, I am going to stick to what I know. I don't want to be one of those artists, as you've seen in 2019 to 2021, there were around 200,000 NFT artists. And because of the crash that has happened, 90% have disappeared. I don't know who all is seeing this in the marketplace, but 90% have disappeared. And I think moving forward, you cannot chop, change. If you ask me this question in 5 years, would I look at AI art again? I don't know. But at present, I am going to stick to my fine art and my digital art. I am not even going into animation. For me personally, I don't know how the rest of the world would like to see it and where they perceive it. It could be completely different from my thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I respect that. I think that, you know, a lot of people think different about it. But I personally believe that, you know, the way in which we connect with art is different for everybody. So we are going to end up with a, you know, different sort of spectrum in which we have all of the possibilities. And so I'm curious, Simon, what do you think about this?
Well, there's many things. I love that you opened this door regarding AI art, Nanda. So I'm gonna give my little stance before answering the question. And one of the things that AI art, I believe it happened, and for all those economists out there, they're gonna like this answer. I think it actually grabbed the supply and demand, and it rose the supply curve all the way to the infinite, because suddenly art can be generated relentlessly, right? It just can happen all the time. So that puts art in a complicated position, because suddenly there is an infinite amount of art that can be published all the time, and it actually takes us to a different place, because we've been in a society that values output, or that cherishes output more than everything, right? But suddenly we realize through AI art that the output is infinite. We realize how important craft is, right? How important the process is, how important the emotions that we put into it are. And I don't know how society is gonna take that different approach to art, where like the output is no longer the most important part, but the craft and the process behind it, right? And so I think it is a great opportunity for storytellers and for people who actually build the whole story behind the piece of art to excel at their work, right? So that's a little bit of my stand on the AI art part, and I would love to discuss later. But like regarding the question that you did regarding creators and audiences, I think we have a beautiful opportunity ahead because of incentivized communities, right? So like artists can now actually give back to. We have actually learned this through Talent Protocol, which is a wonderful project that I'm lucky to be a part of. And I see Juanpi is there in the audience, who's a wonderful guy who's taught me a lot as well. And it puts a lot of focus on Web3 builders, and this project, you should definitely check it out. But basically, the point I was trying to do is this allows people to actually build their network and actually give back to the network and lay on their network to push forward, right? And those incentivized communities are a key aspect of what Web3 can bring to these new creators, right? And something that I was thinking about before too is we read this book. We probably all heard about it. It's like this Nation States by Laji. It actually caused a big movement when it released. I think it was about a year ago. And I was thinking that it could be interesting, because one of the things he taught us is that countries no longer need to be physically connected, right? They need to be connected by a purpose or by an idea, and that could potentially become a nation state, right? And what stops creators, and maybe I'm going to a little bit too futuristic with this, but like what stops creators from actually creating their own nation social states, right? Because they have a lot of people around them who actually follow their maybe advice in some cases, maybe ideas or anything they actually propose, and they could potentially unite as a whole community. They could be incentivized and potentially become a digital nation, if you want to call it like this. And this is an interesting thing, because thanks to blockchain and Web3, all their impact could be tracked, and you could actually see what are the actual positive and negative consequences that each community brings to each other, all thanks to through our technology and the use cases within it.
Yeah, you know, you touch upon such an interesting point. I don't know if this goes like into another direction, but certainly the fact that now we have, you know, a way to transact freely on the internet, thanks to blockchain technology, we are going to see creators connecting with their audience in a different way. And one of such possibility would be, having these online nations or whatever you want to call it. And I think that we are building also the tools in parallel with decentralized autonomous organizations as well. And we are learning a lot about that, about, social experimentation online, thanks to all of the things that are being built with DAOs. And, it's going to be something it's a very futuristic topic, but certainly very interesting, and certainly something that it could happen, So thank you for bringing that up, Simon. And I don't know if we have like any more questions here, or maybe from the audience. I know that it's 6:39 p.m. And I see I have like 5 more minutes. Awesome. I have 5 more minutes to ask you a question, guys, to both of you. So to summarize here, I want to end up with a free question about what would you like to see the most when it comes to blockchain and innovation and impact in the world in general?
I think I would like to see interoperability. I've already sort of stressed on that. I would like to see mass adoption, which would be lovely. I also personally think it would be nice if the whole tokenomics model would really come alive and be executed in a proper manner. At the moment, there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of negativity. It is just not coming through together. So less of the negativity, more of the positivity, and making it work together as a community. I think that is something that I would really like to see, which is not happening.
Lovely. Yeah, I fully understand the feeling there. And I think that as long as there is people like you, like me, like the people in this audience, we are going to keep pushing this forward. So thank you, Nanda, for your answer. And Simon, what about you? I saw you were thinking deeply there.
Yeah, yeah, I got a little bit possessed by the question, right? I mean, as I think is one of the things that I would like to say is that blockchain is no longer in a conversation because it's a given, right? I think the goal for every good technology, or for every tool, I'm going to use this concept, tool rather than technology, is to be seamless, and you don't really need to explain it because it's already there all the time, because this is the best way to perform, actually. Because now every time we say blockchain, as we said before, it connects to different concepts that it could actually bring risk into the thoughts of the audience. But like, what I would like to see is just a given, that is, people assume that blockchain is going to be behind it, as we assume that cloud computing is where our profile pictures are. But nobody talks about cloud computing. We just assume, we trust it, because we realize that it's the best solution for whatever we want to take forward.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that we are going to see so many positive applications in the near future, and I'm personally super bullish on this technology and on the people that are working here. So once again, Simon and Nanda, thank you so much for taking this time, for answering all of these questions. And now I guess that I will pass the mic back to Valeska to see what we have next, right?
Yes, thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much, Nanda and Simon. It was an awesome conversation. Actually, it was so good. I told Victor, like, you can have some extra minutes, because it's really, I didn't want to cut you off, guys. And yeah, so if there's anybody from the audience that would like to maybe participate or share a comment or ask a question, I think we still have like 2 minutes before Juan P joins. So yeah, like Diana, I don't know if you want to add something, because I know you really like this topic, and because innovation and creativity is very important.
I just wanted Victor to give an answer for himself. How do you see, I mean, what would you like to see in the future? Because Simon's answer was amazing, Nanda's answer was amazing, but from your own experience, which we know you have a lot, what would you like to see beyond what they already mentioned?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what would I like to see when it comes to blockchain and innovation? Is that the question, right? Yeah, what I would like to see is more focus on applications that actually solve problems for communities, but that are born within the communities. So I've been working a lot taking this approach now with my project, with my company, because I believe that there is an entire unexplored chart when it comes to what things do community need that nobody else thought about it, because we never did perform the experiments of gathering a group of people and ask them, okay, we have these tools, like we have developers to implement crypto payments, to launch NFTs, to create content. What do you guys want to do? What problems do you want to solve? So I think that when it comes to that, like research methodologies maybe, or ways to approach problems, that is something that I'm particularly very interested in. I've been working a lot on that, and I learned so much every day from my community and from talking to other people that are also exploring this kind of solutions. And I think that this is one of the best ways I have found so far to kind of innovate.
Awesome.
Thank you, Victor, for your answer.
Yeah,
Thank you all for it's been amazing, but I have so many notes. I don't want to, have the shadow fire, but I have to share when I hear something that could be important for the rest of the participants. So thank you all for your answers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Nanda. Thank you, Simon, and thank you, Victor, for this panel.